Okay, so thank you for agreeing to meet with me today. As mentioned, this is really just to have conversation. It's not too serious, and just to keep it real and authentic, and for me to ask you all of the things about you. I feel like I've known you forever, but I actually don't know a lot about you. So for those that don't know you, who is Fleur Coleman?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me today. It's a real pleasure to be here. So I'm born and raised in Cayman. Been here most of my life. A bit of education back in the UK. Been in quite a different kettle of different, activities over the years, different jobs over the years. Landed in real estate. I always knew that I loved talking, so I thought it was a good fit, and it's turned out to be a really good fit. So I'm very happy.
So let's go back a little bit. So when did you start real estate?
11 years ago.
Oh, was that long ago?
Yeah, about 11 years ago.
And so you started with?
Remax. So I started originally with Remax and the James Pavell. Did a couple of years there. That was a really good learning place. It's like, learning all the ropes. Then I joined Prominence Properties, who are Dart, who are Christie's affiliates.
That's what I was thinking, Christie's. That's where I remember you from.
That was really fun. So I did 5 or 6 years with them. Okay. And then I went over and did a bit of time with Mandarin Oriental, with IRG. And then a friend of mine, Stefan, who had bought the agency to the island, was looking for a business partner. We're very good friends anyway. And we always knew we could work well together because he's very good at some things, I'm good at other things. I like doing the front of house. I like doing the open houses, the showings, the communication with clients. He definitely prefers the sensible, serious side of real estate. So it works really well. I mean, it's just a really good partnership. And I always thought, well, I want to go out on my own at some stage. And this was a perfect opportunity.
So I actually didn't realize that Stefan had it first, because I thought you guys opened it together.
He started first. So he brought it to the island, and it was just new and fresh and different. And it's just because it was so fresh and different from the norm, it really interested me.
That's exactly why. Well, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to speak to you, because as we said before we started rolling, I am obsessed, like most people, with like selling Sunset and buying Manhattan and buying London now and all of those. And I was like, typically, the real estate world, there's a certain type of person that when you think of a realtor, especially like in the UK, is like middle-aged man, cheap suit, just very stiff with his clipboard. And I feel like with the agency, it's literally like watching you guys, and as the team's grown, I'm like, it's like what you see on TV. That you guys are like glamorous, and you're doing team outings on the boat, and I'm just like, I wonder if that's that just natural, or you purposely thought about, let's do something different, let's do it different.
A bit of both.
Okay.
I mean, I've always I love the real estate side of it. I knew I wanted something fresh and different, just to shake it up a bit in the Cayman Islands. I do feel that, work hard, play hard. We started off with a very small team of 3 of us. Now we're 17 of us.
Oh my gosh.
And we kind of pick people who are just really like bubbly, happy-go-lucky. They want to be there. And we're all very, very close. And everyone loves kind of the same thing, like watching the shows. It's very easy watching. So after a long day of work, it's very easy to go home and watch like the, even down to the fashion side of it, or, the things that real estate, things go up and down all day, every day. And it does show the usual life of a realtor, how, you can have 5 fires one day to kind of burn out. And then the next day you're doing lunch, or the next day you're doing 15 showings. And so it's every day is so different.
Yeah.
That is actually a lot of fun.
They do make it look very glamorous. And I was wondering, excuse me, I was like, I wonder if that's why like so many people are getting into real estate now, because you all have heard this. Like you must hear. I heard it on the radio today on Cayman Mall Road, and she's like, everyone and their dog is a realtor now in Cayman, and I'm like, well, she's not wrong.
Yeah,
like,
she's
that's
right. She's
kind of
spot
how
on.
it is. But I wonder whether because there's almost been a shift in how real estate looks as a career.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like the fitness industry, I remember when I started out in the fitness industry, and I tell this all the time about when I went to my parents and I'm like, so I want to be in the fitness industry. And my mum's like, that's a hobby.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a real job and you're going to go to university. And I went to university and I checked off the boxes because the fitness industry wasn't seen as like a real career. It wasn't like an aspiring career. It was, you know, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be a teacher.
Yeah.
So me being like, I want to do fitness, they were like, but thankfully my parents were like, and I
Be you.
now I'm like, look how that worked out, Mum. But they're just like, go for it. And if you can make it work, excuse me, and it makes you happy, go for it. But I feel like the real estate industry, like the fitness industry, has taken a whole turn. And it's like my industry is booming, $1 billion industry. And the real estate industry, same thing.
You know, it's amazing how, I mean, I was the same. My background was beauty therapy. And it was, I left school at 16. I was never an academic. And I'd always said, you know, I want to do something that's, you know, not the norm, 9 to 5. I wanted to do something different. And the beauty industry, I just loved that line of work. So I did that for a good 10 years or so. Right. But I just knew, because I wasn't an academic, I knew I had to find a passion that I really enjoyed doing, and that was talking. And because that's a huge part of our industry, it just seemed to kind of sink into, and I've been in sales for 30 years in different departments, like selling jeans or selling, you know, hair products or something. So getting into selling homes, it just kind of made sense, really. Just naturally, yeah. A friend said, well, why are you selling jeans? Sell homes. I'm like, well, you got a valid point there. So
it's so true. And I always think when you're good at something, like something that you're good at, you want to do more of it.
You do.
Right?
It doesn't feel like work.
You recognize you're good at sales. So you're right. If I can sell jeans, I can sell real estate.
Yeah. And it's never boring. I mean, it's such an exciting. I think I love the fact that it was so freeing. You know, we do work probably an average 10 hours a day, but we can design. You have to make real estate work for you. You can't work for it. So. And if you're passionate about it, you'll put in the hours. You know, some days you'll be working a 70-hour week. The next time you can go and do a 35, 40-hour week. So you just make sure it works for you rather than slave at it. It has to work for you and fit into your lifestyle as such.
So talking about like a day in the life of a realtor, because as you said, it looks different for everyone. Yeah. What does a day in the life for you look like as a realtor?
So it changes daily. On average, I start up in the morning with 2 or 3 Zoom calls, organizing the following day. I might have a lunch meeting. I always do on average, probably 2 to 3 showings, mostly daily.
Oh, wow.
So you're and one minute you're on a construction site in hard hat and welly boots, and then you've got the change in your car to throw on a dress and a pair of heels. So every showing is usually quite different. And it can be a complete mixture. I think I have 4 or 5 changes of clothes in my car.
Oh my God, I love that.
So it's constantly changing around. It's like, you know, just
like
blending.
Make 2 pairs of shoes today.
It really is. It's constantly being adaptable, even if it rains. I mean,
But that's fun, right?
It's
that's
really
what we
fun.
were saying earlier. I grew up watching 2 parents that did the same job day in, day out. And which is fine if you love what you do, but they complained every single day and they lived for their weekends.
Yeah.
Whereas and you know, it sounds so cliche, but like I genuinely love what I do.
It doesn't feel like work.
No.
It feels like
it's
you are.
It's hard and it's exhausting and it's, you know, as you said, some days are longer than others, but
it's so much fun.
It's so much fun.
I wouldn't, honestly, I found, as I said, I've done quite a few industries. I found one that I absolutely love. And I don't mind putting all the hours in the world to it. It's just such an enjoyable, it's just so much fun. It's so much fun. And it's always an adrenaline rush. It's always up and down. You have to roll with the punches and make the most out of any bad situation. They are going to come. You have good days and bad days. But even the hard days or the you know, difficult situations, you just find a way to, you know, change, redirect as such.
Yeah. So let's go back to, because you said now you're a team of 17. Yeah. Which is crazy.
It's crazy.
How do you go about recruitment? Like, what do you look for in a realtor?
Really, number one is personality. I think personality does sell. I've been very lucky with my support team who are, I think if you get the support team right, like my manager and my marketing lady are both so fantastic what they do. And when you get a team around you who are happy, bubbly, happy-go-lucky, who look out for each other and generally love each other and want to be together. People who are drawn to you are generally the same kind of mindsets.
Yeah.
A lot of the time in Cayman, obviously Cayman's small, so we know a lot of them who, I'd probably get on average probably 8 CVs a week applying for jobs.
Wow.
I'd probably go for about
From people on island or both?
Both.
Okay.
Mostly on island, but both. And I probably on average go for about 2 or 3 coffees a week with people who want to get into the business. We do, like over the summer holidays, we've had 3 Cayman Island kids coming in. They've had a week with us, just to show them what real estate's about. You know, sometimes, you know, they think it's brilliant. Sometimes they say, well, yeah, decided against it. So we do, and then we look out for, usually personality is a huge one. You've got to make sure everyone gets on with each other as well. So if, you know, you have one person comes in who doesn't quite blend, it does change the atmosphere. So you have to, you know, keep that in mind. Yeah.
I know, and maybe this is similar with you, like with my franchise, they talk about culture, the culture within. And I've had that before. I've had so many people that I've employed that look great on paper, and then they start and you're just like, oh, actually, they don't fit in the team.
They always say with CVs, I mean, CV is, you know, in the 80s, great, that's what we had to go by. Now you go on social media.
I was going to ask you if you look on social.
I always, the first thing I do is when I get a CV, I look at the CV, I go straight on social media, see what I can find out. You know, that's the real person, not the glamorous CV.
So what do you look for? What are you looking for when you look on social media?
First, if they've changed jobs a lot, that is a bit of a red flag for me. Obviously, a lot of moving around, it is a red flag. I look at experience, often straight from school is, you know, learning on the job, especially in this industry. Learning on the job, to me, is so important. Like you really, you know, everyone thinks it's such a glamorous lifestyle. They are definitely, you know.
I love that you say this because I've spoken about this before, and people have different opinions because I don't hire based on experience, I don't hire based on like your credentials.
Yeah.
I look at your experience, and doesn't necessarily have to be in the fitness industry, but I think back of all of the jobs I have done before I did what I do now, and I've learned from all of them.
Yeah.
I've learned what I don't like.
Yeah,
but I've
100%.
also learned, and I think back, and I was saying this to someone the other day, and because I was working from 14, because that's just what you do in the UK, right? And, you know, I said to you before, university, I had like 3 jobs because I didn't want to end up in debt, because the British way is like, you don't have debt. But each job, from working in like as a waitress in a restaurant to working in a music store to working hostess in a night,
so much.
I learned so much. And that's the thing is it's okay. It's I think doing something, even if you haven't got the real estate experience, but seeing what they've done before and working
with people. Like there's a very different approach from being front of house and working with people than to be back of house and not being able to social, like not being able to network. And this job's all, and same thing, both of our industries, it's all about networking. It's all about, you know, selling yourself in a way and bringing work in. People buy from people they know, people buy from people they like. So to be a likable person and understanding, and obviously, you know, you have to have the knowledge, but you also want to be approachable. You want to be, you know, it's definitely, I would always buy from someone who, and you can tell straight away if they're approachable or not, or if they are the right fit.
And it doesn't feel like a sales pitch if you really believe in the product and you have that personality too. Because I'm not a salesperson whatsoever.
No, hard sales, I've never been interested
and I feel like when I think about you, I'm always like, your personality, we've said this before, every time I meet you, you're exactly who you are. Like, you're no different. So I know if I called you about real estate, I trust you because I feel like, you know, we've built that relationship, and that I think is so important rather than a good sales pitch.
Yeah, people aren't stupid. When they walk into a place, they'll either want it or they don't want it. So no matter what I say to them about, oh well, look at this light shade, look at this furniture, and it's such a good deal. It's hard selling, and hard selling doesn't work. You know, I don't find, because you lose the trust, because if somebody's saying they've seen 10 different homes with you, and you're praising every single thing about every single one of them, you know, you've got to be honest. You've got to say pros and cons about every option, every location on the island, every kind of, You know, it's just, yeah, you have to earn the trust and you have to keep the trust.
Yeah.
And you can't keep that trust if you're doing the kind of the really pushy sales. It just doesn't work.
And
With any
then
selling
it works
anything.
both ways, right? I'm assuming, I mean, I don't know, but I'm assuming, I think of like when I've bought real estate and working with different, and everything you've just said, I'm thinking back as you're saying it, and I'm like, I know when I've gone and said, specifically when I was pregnant, this is what I need, I'm pregnant.
Yep.
And then you go and show me something where a townhouse and the baby's bedroom is on the
Fifth
top
floor,
floor.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I am not walking down 3 flights of stairs, but they're not listening to what I'm telling you and like what I need. They just want to sell me this house because they want to sell this house.
It's very true. I mean, I remember even at 18, it was completely different from real estate. I remember walking into, I think, Nordstrom's or somewhere, and I had a young girl trying to sell me an anti-wrinkle cream or something like that.
And straight away you're offended.
Like,
You're just like, I don't want to buy anything from you now.
How old do you think I am, number one? And then I said, well, what's in the product? And she's like, well, and she's reading it. I'm like, so why is it good for my skin? And I was testing it, but it was like, you could see right through it.
Yeah.
And it's in anything in sales, whatever you try to sell, if you don't know your products, you know, everyone can spot it from a mile away,
Right.
you know. So you really got to know what you're selling, and you've got to really be passionate about it. You know, as you say, in any industry, if you're passionate about it, it doesn't feel like work. It just feels like I really love going to work. I love seeing my team. We have a lot of fun. You know, it's just, I always say, have the dogs in. If you want to bring your dog in, if you know, we have children coming in and out all the time from school.
The work environments have changed now, right?
Night and day.
And
COVID
you have
has
to change.
You have to adjust to it. Yeah, you can't stick to that. I mean, I can't imagine doing 9 to 5 now or 9 to 6. I do those hours, but they're out throughout the day, and I can work from home. I've got a home office. I can work from the office. I don't have to be anywhere.
I actually love that, and again, I talk about this with my industry, and because it's the same, like we work long hours, but we split our time. So for me, what was important was I like to do school drop off.
Yeah.
And I was doing drop off and pick up, and now I'm like, you have so many activities, like I'm not picking you up all the time.
Walk home.
But I want to do school drop off because I didn't have that, because my parents had to work 9 till 5 and other jobs, because my dad had like 2 jobs at some point. So for me, it was important to have school drop off. So my industry, ideal. So I basically work when he's at school.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love it.
I love that.
I feel like I get that balance then. And so I do the same. I try and consider these things with my employees. It's like, okay, well, what do you need? So I have one girl that refuses to work weekends in my industry, and you'll know in your industry. And I'm just like, well. And then I was like, you know what? If you can get what you need to get done
during the week,
Friday, then fine.
Do you know what made me realize how important it is when I started my own company? It was the thing that made me realize how important it was to have that balance. I remember going to pick up my son from prep school, and I drove in, and the security guy said to me, he goes, who are you picking up? I said, oh, my son Max, and he's been there by this stage for 7 or 8 years. And he goes, I thought Michelle was his mum.
Was your nanny?
Yeah, my nanny. And it was like, and we always call her, like, we're both the mums kind of thing. So, but it was so funny how, like, this is not work-life balance. This is, I haven't got it. This is the fact that the guy who's always, you know, he has no idea who I am. And then my son came out and said, Mummy, how do you know where my school is? So that really hit home. Yeah. It was like, it stabbed in the heart. I thought, no, I can't do this. I need to balance it out.
I've said the exact same story.
So hard to get that balance. But you need it, because you're right. Growing up, I remember my dad coming in, like 6 o'clock at night, chasing us up to bed, give us a hug, gone. So we'd see him, and he worked really long hours. My mum was always around. But you don't, and that was just a normal thing in the UK at the time, and in Cayman. But
they had no choice.
They had no choice.
We have a choice now. That's the difference.
It's a huge difference. And you can, it's just planning. If you plan your life properly, you can get all the hours done, you get all your work done. Yeah. But you make it work for you as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's, you know, only your own business. It's, you know, do you know what it's like? It's definitely, you have to have kind of, it has to work.
I go back and forth about, can you get balance? And then some days I'll be like, yes, I can have balance, because I talk about these things and I can take my kid to school every day. And then during this summer, as I told you earlier on, I had to come back. I had to leave like my summer vacation to come back, because I was short-staffed. And I had to come back to work, and I'm just like, people forget those sides too. There is always like, there's a compromise.
There's a compromise.
Here and there, but then...
I mean, I got married in May. The day after I got married, I came back to Cayman for work. So I missed the honeymoon and everything because I just had to get back for,
Wow.
which is insane. Like, you know, but it's the part of, you know, it's because I want this in life.
Yes.
It's, you know, great.
You're always kind of compromising.
You're always
different
compromising,
things, right?
juggling,
Depending on the time. Okay, so talk to me more about the agency, because as I said, I just think you guys are doing it. I love when people do things different. Yeah. And we spoke about the type of people that you're recruiting. You definitely have a younger
vibe. I'm
For
the
sure.
oldest by about, well, they call me the grandma because I'm definitely the
Oh my
oldest. Yeah. So I'm granny in the group. I'm probably the least mature, but I'm definitely the granny in the group for the age. But we wanted to go fresh approach, change up, change the market up a bit. I didn't want to do the same thing I've always done. I wanted to, you know, make it different. We are in a marketing industry, really. It's more marketing industry than it is real estate. So we decided to concentrate purely on digital marketing. Social media is a huge, I mean, it's amazing having social media out now to really help sell. They always say like out of sight, out of mind. So I want to be constantly marketing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I probably do a bit overkill at times, but I prefer to do too much than too little. Relevant.
Yeah,
you want to be relevant.
relevant.
And you've also got to keep changing it up because, you know, you don't want to do the same thing. You know, you have to change your videos. You have to keep fresh. It has to be fun. People turn it straight off if it's not fun. So if it's fun, they can constantly watching. So I do think that's a huge thing as well.
We were saying that yesterday because marketing was never, you know, we're a franchise, like the agency, and I'm not sure how much support you guys get from the franchise. With us, at the beginning especially, we got really not much that we could use because it's an American franchise. It's a different market. So I was like, all the high fives and all of that. I was like, I'm British, like that's not going to work. And then for Cayman, I was like, it's definitely not going to work. But over time, they've rebranded and they've evolved. So we use some of their marketing tools now, but they are constantly now on us about, you need to do more marketing. Yeah. Because I came to Cayman almost 18 years ago, and you know, you've been here your whole life, very different.
Very
so
different.
There were 3 gyms when I came here. There's almost 40 fitness providers on island right now. So we have to, our marketing, we really spend a lot of time trying to do things different and not even purposely do it different, but making sure that we don't blend in with all of the other gyms and making sure that we show ourselves as like, our thing is we're the gym for everyone. We're not a bodybuilding gym. We're not, you know, we don't cater to this and that. We kind of like for everyone. So, but we have to show that with our marketing.
Yeah, you do. You have to show the whole approach.
Where I'm going with this is, so a lot of it is have an expectation from my team to get involved in that. Yeah. Do you expect that from your team? So you're doing it for the company, but do you expect them to do their own marketing outside of?
We cover all the marketing.
Okay.
We do like it when we do events, and they all love events anyway. They're younger, they love, you know, nice little happy hours or boat parties or whatever it is, and we want to make sure that these guys work so hard anyway, so we want to pull them out and have fun days. So
That's good. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Every month we probably try and do a luncheon, or we do a kind of event out on the boat or something, also with clients as well, and it just gives them a bit of downtime, a bit of breathing time, and to continue having that friendship going, because we rely on each other so much that we want to have work and play. Yeah. You know, and it's just
and to
keep it real.
that team together.
Team spirit.
I'm sure yours again is similar. I love these conversations because completely different industry, but there's so many similarities.
Similarities, yeah.
So
100%.
with like mine, I have 2 locations, and then we're all like passing ships.
Yeah,
because everyone's
ships
on
into the
different
night.
schedules. And it's really hard. So we do Fridays where we all meet for literally an hour every Friday. But that's sometimes, you know, that's just not enough time. Yeah. And so I love the idea that you do socials on a regular basis.
It definitely made me, like, even with kids. I mean, like we did a beach cleanup, and all the kids were down there together, and they were all helping out. And it's just team bonding, really. Yeah. It's just kind of.
I think that's really important. I don't do enough of that.
We get so busy in life that it's hard to, and that's why my support team is so good, because they put it in everyone's calendar. You have to have a really good excuse to miss, you know. So if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't do it either. And they are very good at forcing us to do that kind of making
Right.
sure it's balanced.
Right. So let's divert a little bit to the Cayman market, real estate.
Yeah.
So again, I keep referring to being British because we talk about this, like it's just the British way of doing things. My whole life, I've been told you buy real estate, that's a long-term investment, you don't rent. But nowadays, I feel like so many of my friends just rent and they don't buy real estate. So I want to get your opinion as an expert of real estate as an investment.
That's what I spend my money on. I always put my money where my mouth is. I'm a huge believer. I mean, some people do gold, Bitcoin, whatever it is. Real estate's my passion, obviously. So I'm a huge believer in, if you're going to buy for investment, you buy something with a low strata, and something that's rentable in a good location. I think the market some people say the market's been quiet. I find the market's been booming. We've been really hectic,
Can I tell you, you'll know this because you have some units, so I'm at One Canal.
Yeah, I love One Canal.
I bought pre-construction. So
I put an offer at One Canal today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this morning, yeah.
It's always a bit of a risk, pre-construction, you know this, but I believe in the property line. So I've always, since I've lived here, bought here, but bought One Canal, bit of a risk. The unit next to me just sold, well, not next to me, but the same unit as mine just sold, and it's doubled in 3 years.
Yeah. Is yours a townhouse?
Mine's the penthouse.
Yeah.
So
that was, I think I sold 2 or 3 of them. I sold one about a month ago, but I remember pre-construction, we got 2 buyers in there. It was the most amazing turnaround. And I mean, I love One Canal. I think that's an amazing,
they did a
great
job,
location.
yes.
They did a great job. Security gates. You've got your park for the kids. You've got your gym. You've got your pools. Even your social area. I do think that's one. I just love that development. I love it.
So when people say to me about real estate, I'm like, can I tell you, I've now made more money in that one property than I have in 15 years of running a business.
I mean, I don't think it's a gamble. Like, to me, obviously, there's a gamble. Anything good for anything in life, for investments. But I think it's safe as they can pretty much get in the right location. I'm a huge believer in buying property, owning it for long term, and then making money back long term, or as an investment for rentals. It's safe. It's you own it. You can touch it. It's not like it's I mean, I look at these paintings now that it's the digital paintings that you don't actually own. Where you get a photograph.
I know, it's crazy.
That's crazy to me.
That I know, because I need to see. I need something tangible.
You need to touch
see what
it.
I spent my money on.
And that's what when you say pre-construction, that is the gamble. It's brilliant if you can visualize, and I mean that shows what a great investment that was.
But it blows my mind because, and even like not just that property, like the last 3 years. Yeah. You'll know more than me, but I watch it. I just I don't know. I'm interested in real estate.
Like,
so
Kimpton was the same. Kimpton, doubled in price since when we first started selling them in 2017 or 2018. It's amazing how you get the right location, and if it's too high at the time, the market usually catches up anyway, or balances out. Cayman as a whole, I think, will always be,
That's what I was going to ask you, because no matter what, we're a small island.
Yeah.
As long as there's demand and there's not much supply, it's just a no-brainer, right?
And we've got, you compare it to the other Caribbean islands, I mean, we've got different agencies in other areas, Turks and Caicos, Jamaica, Bahamas, and we're all very good friends. We all work very closely together. But we're very lucky in Cayman because we do have that safety. I mean, I've been 47 years I've been on the island. I've never locked my car in my life. I've never locked my house in my life.
See, I do now. I remember when we first came, it wasn't.
You never did it.
I do now, but
my husband gets really upset with me because he's from London and he's used to you don't leave a bag, you don't leave anything.
Leave a piece of paper.
Yeah. You don't, because your tires go missing or something. I can't. I mean, my laptop's in my car downstairs, wide open. Yeah. I feel so safe here, and even having kids, like your kids. Having a child on the island,
oh my God,
they run off and they're safe as long as they can swim and not play on the road, We're so lucky compared to big cities where you have to watch them the whole time. It's just it's so refreshing having that, you know.
Do you, so we spoke about location.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that's always.
Location,
I was
location,
always
location.
taught, like, from like my parents is like, you buy the smallest house in the best,
And the best,
area.
I'm a huge believer in that.
And that's what I've always done.
It's
until this
genius advice, because that is so smart. Yeah, it's so. I mean, in my house, I'm in Salt Creek. I'm the smallest house there, and it's just the neighborhood. If you're the smallest house in the neighborhood, it'll always be maintained. You know, so if it's the other way around,
That's true,
you're only as good as your neighbor.
Yeah.
So you know, if you're in the wrong area, and you can have the nicest house in the world, but it's the wrong area.
Right.
Whereas if you're, you know, it's getting the right location and being the smallest house there.
That's the way to
perfect.
do it.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
So as of right now in the Cayman market, where would you say is like the right area or an up and coming area?
7 Mile Stretch is always going to be your main location. It'll always be like our Rodeo Drive, 7 Mile Stretch. Obviously on the beach is the go-to, the dream for everyone.
For us
yeah.
all.
In our next lives will be on the beach. And it's just going to keep going up and up, I feel. Other people think otherwise. I think 7 Mile Beach, because it's only, you know, we're not building any more beach. So, but also.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. You never know. Yeah.
Marriott might get the beach back.
yeah, hopefully. But even the stretch, like, as you say, one canal.
So on that corridor,
the whole corridor is, you've got so much going around this area. I mean, I was brought up in South Sound. All my family live in South Sound, Savannah, and they love that area. So it's each individual, but I do think the 7 Mile Stretch is what I get asked about all the time from people coming in.
Off of there now.
After being down this end, I mean, I spent 35 years in South Sound, and I only bought at this end for a 2-year flip job. Thought I'd make some money, flip it. After being on this end with the bypass and everything around you, I found it very hard to go back.
I know.
Cayman
makes us very lazy.
It does.
Like, even
for
me driving to like Harbour Walk now, I'm like,
it's so far. But my mum says, okay, Sunday come for dinner. I said, Sunday it's fine, there's no traffic. If it's like a Monday or Tuesday, I'm like, what are you cooking? It's going to be really good, because I know if I go through that traffic, is it worth it? Anywhere else in the world.
Can I take the boat?
Cayman feels like zone 4, you know. But yeah, it's so funny. It's amazing how it's so small compared to, if you lived in London, you spend an hour getting to work every day. But here, that extra 15 minutes.
We're so lucky.
We're so blessed. We're so lucky to have such a, and the infrastructure on this island as well. I mean, I remember as kids, you'd have these huge fern trees like, all down the beach. You'd have about 4 or 5 big developments, but you could see the beach all the way down.
Right.
And I look at it now and think, oh my God, you know, you wouldn't believe it was the same place.
I know.
You know.
Even since I've lived here,
Yeah,
before there was no Commander Bay, there was no.
I mean, it feels like a light, you know.
Now when I think about it, I'm just like, what did we do?
What did we do? What did we do with our kids?
And we used to actually, well, I didn't have case in them, but I remember that with, you know, friends and their kids, but you would go to Run Point every Sunday.
Yes,
and that
you
drive was
would,
so
you
enjoyable.
would.
And
Yeah.
I do love actually doing that drive down to Run Point, but day to day, nobody wants to do that.
You'd get if you worked in town, you'd get a boat over and leave the car on this side. And I mean, that's it's a really different way of living, and you know.
It
really
really
cool.
is, like that side of the island to 7 Mile is so different, which is kind of nice.
It's really nice. I have a property in Run Point Club, and I love the Run Point Club. And I was doing an open house there, and I actually looked around and said, I actually love this, I'm going to buy it. So we bought it, and I thought I'd spend every weekend up there.
Doesn't happen.
I think I've been up there 3 times in 2.5 years, because all my family use it.
Oh, okay.
And friends use it well, so it gets used, but it's also in the rental program as well.
Right.
But I just love it when I'm there. I'm like, oh, I should do this every single weekend.
It feels like the old Cayman.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
It makes you realise. It's just. It feels like you've been on a proper holiday.
Right.
Like, you're not doing laundry. You're not kind of doing chores around the house at weekends.
Yeah.
You're actually sitting on the beach and really relaxing.
Slow down.
It forces you to slow down, which is a lovely.
Yeah.
Even for the mind, it's just so nice just to slow down, and keep it at,
That's what I love. I still love, and although people complain about everything being closed on a Sunday,
I love it.
I love it. It makes me stay home and do the stuff that I don't want to do.
It's the same thing when it's raining on a Sunday. You think you don't feel lazy by not going out. You feel that you can be in pajamas all day because you can't go. You can't go to the beach. It's
Because the UK, it's like a rat race. It's like And everything is so funny. Even when I was back there in the summer, it was one of the long weekends on a holiday, and I said, I had to go and buy a suitcase because
What too much,
it's
went shopping.
too much shopping.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, but it's a holiday. And my mum's like, yeah, everyone's still open regular hours till 9 p.m.
It's same with like Black Fridays in the US, and like it's amazing how
It's going to be like 20, well, I guess we can
24
online
hours a
shop
day.
24
Yeah.
hours, but I know
I find it incredible how, you're right, the Saturdays are always to do the chores, Sundays are always just to completely relax.
And have that family
and
time.
family time. And I think it's sudden things, you know, as you say, in big cities, everything's open. You can go do anything. Here we can go to the cinema, maybe and go for some lunch, but you do family time, which is like...
It forces you to slow down.
It forces you to slow down.
So, you know, obviously you mentioned the 7-mile strip, 7-mile corridor, but what about people that just don't have that budget? Because the reality is, you know, what about first-time buyers? What's an area that you would suggest is kind of up and coming?
Savannah further down, like Savannah area to me, Mariners Cove area, Marina Drive, there are some beautiful properties there.
It's so lovely down there.
It's so
the
gorgeous.
Keys,
The Keys.
channels?
The channels are down there. It's where the sailing club is. There's some really lovely properties down there. And condos that, you know, you're on, canals are, living on a canal is so nice. Yeah, Omega. Living on a canal, it's lovely on water. That's what, being in Cayman, you want, it's so nice to be able to see the water. And again, we're very, very lucky and very blessed. But like living on the canal, I mean, some of those areas are gorgeous. I think that's really, my sister lives in Savannah, or Lower Valley area, and she would never live anywhere else. You know?
So you would say Savannah rather than West Bay? Because I always wondered whether
West Bay is definitely become with a new bypass. Well, I say new now, it's not so new. And the bypass, there's a lot of buildings going up. Again, you're on the water, so it's really nice. It's a different feel altogether. But West Bay, again, with the bypass, it's so easy, convenient to get anywhere. Supermarkets, schools, you know, gym, everything that, you know, is on your doorstep. So I'd say like Lower Valley, Savannah area is obviously feels further out and a bit more traffic down that area. West Bay, I think, again, I mean, I love now living West Bay. I love it living in West Bay because it just feels everything's around me that I need. I can get anywhere within 5 minutes. So both great locations. South Sound, it's you know, very built up now.
Right.
But again, my parents would never live. They love it. They, you know, they just, you know, their whole neighborhood. They all know all the neighbors. Everyone's really good friends. They all walk together, jog together. So it's, each neighborhood holds, you know, for different people. But I do think, they would never leave South Sound. Very sociable place. If you need some, in Cayman anyway, it's Cayman kind. You can, if you need some pint of milk, you just go to your neighbors. And anywhere you are, I think you have that kind of same friendly Cayman kind feel.
It's funny how different areas are so, because when you think of South Sound, so different tonight. Because I lived in South Sound many years ago.
Where were you in South Sound?
So we were at the other end. We were South Shore, like
I remember South.
Which is why the gym ended up going to Harbour Walk, because I was like, there is nothing down this end. We need to put a gym down there, and that gym took 6 years to try and find the right location.
Again, location's everything.
And then when Trevor said he was building that, we were like, we have to be here.
I mean, Harbour Walk has been a game changer for that area. Like Harbour Walk is like Commander Bay for West Bay. Harbour Walk is to South Sound, South Church Street, you know, Savannah. It is an absolute game changer. You have everything you need right there.
He was very purposeful with that. I'm sure you know that because he actually, a lot of us are from Commander Bay, right? So you've got the guys from Agua, then you've got Sharon from Le Visage. So he basically wanted to create like a mini Commander Bay.
Do you know, I never even realised that, but it's spot on. You have everything there that you need, like, even like, you know, dogs places, each places, or the vets, hairdressers.
And
really
he said
clever.
he built Harbour Walk because he lives there, right? And he was like, I want the conveniences. So I was like, very smart.
It's so smart. I mean, that was a game changer for that area.
Yeah. So, sorry, I need to go to my notes. Because I've totally gone off topic, as I said I would.
I love that. Love.
Okay, so I'm
Are they strawberries or your nails?
Oh my gosh!
So
yeah,
I have to
when
see
I was
that.
in England, but they kind of look like ladybirds now.
I love that.
One of those random things. I'm like, I'm going to be in England. I want strawberries on my nails.
Wimbledon.
So let's talk about. You know, it's all very glamorous of what you do, but there's a lot of hard work that goes into it. Tell me about one of the toughest deals that you've done? Because at the end of the day, you're negotiating, and you can put all this time and work into a deal, and then it can fall through. Can you give me an
It
example
happens quite a lot.
I mean,
it does. You're constantly a bit on a roller coaster until the funds are in the bank. So, I mean, I've been at a closing before a few years ago, and I've actually been at the closing table, whereas the guarantor was pulled out at the last minute and even handed over the closing gift to go in the car before we actually walked in. So it's until that money is cleared in the bank,
it's not a done deal.
It's not a done deal. And you can be the day of or the day beforehand. So it's a constant roller coaster ride. I mean, you get a lot. It's like living on adrenaline all the time. You know, especially some of the deals we do. Really, some of them are really there's a lot of high ends. You know, and it's definitely a lot of personalities. So you've got to make sure try and keep everyone happy. I mean, everyone at the end of the day works for the vendor. So both sides work for the vendor. So they're your number one. They're the one who's actually paying your paycheck as such.
Course, yeah.
So they're paying the commission. So, but we all work for them, and then but obviously you want everyone to leave a closing in a really good space where they're really the buyers are really happy.
You want everybody happy.
You want everyone happy, and some people are at times it's life. You don't. It's hard to please everyone, but you just have to get over. You deal with the issues straight away. And once you get those out, you'll always have little things pop up. Get it organised straight away, get it dealt with straight away. Open lines of communication with everyone. There's nothing worse when you can't get through to somebody and you're panicking. Like you need to be able to, I don't care what time of day it is, 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I got a phone call, I think 2 days ago, I think it was Sunday morning, like 3 o'clock in the morning, because it was buyers who got the time change, And so you just and you can't say, oh, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. You say, oh, hi, and you have to.
Oh my God.
So you have to fake it, or like kind of fake it till you make it all the time. So you don't want them to feel like they put you out. But it is constantly trying to keep everyone happy, and you're just trying to make sure everything is as smooth as it can be, and that the closing, and you surround yourself with people who. Like all our legal team that come in and all our, we had to get all KYC and due diligence, and that's never the fun part. There's always no one likes to do due diligence ever, whether it's a bank, whether it's a lawyer's firm. So that's always, there's sometimes we sound like we're harassing our customers by saying, we need this from you before we close. Because obviously, tick all the boxes. It's part of the process,
And speed, like you have to do things fast because even with the banks, like interest rates, right? That can change
so quickly.
Yeah. And that can really affect, whether someone can even continue to go through with the sale if they can afford it.
100%.
Because that's what,
100%.
Going back to, as you're talking, I was thinking about, I've had some wins, but I've had some losses of real estate too. And even with One Canal, obviously pre-construction, so you're waiting 2 years for this thing to happen.
Your money's tied up.
And then all of a sudden it was when the interest rates went right up. So mortgage-wise, it doubled.
Yeah.
So although you gain double in, equity now, it also has, my mortgage went from this to this.
Yeah.
And then I had to it was a tight few years because I'm like, all right, well, I also can't pull out because I put a 20% deposit down.
Yeah, 100%. It's
so
always
quite
it's a real. I mean, to be able to sleep in this industry, like I wake up at 4 a.m. and I have all these different things going on.
And you're responsible for all this.
Yeah,
it's like
I'm
blaming you.
I'm the bad guy.
Why did you tell me?
It's so true, and it's so because it's like when I was waitressing. Because I was a waitress, if the chef gives bad food, I'm the one that's got my neck on the line. No one sees the chef.
Yeah.
So because I'm front of house, it's the same in real estate. Front of house, you are the go-to, and you're the one who has to sort all the if there's any issues, you have to sort it out.
Yeah, I don't envy you. I used to always think, again, as I said, watching all these shows, I'm like, oh, I'd love to. At one point, I was actually going to reach out to you about becoming a
You'd
realtor.
be amazing. You'd be amazing.
Oh, because I've literally done the property ladder. I started off with like a 1-bedroom in San Sebastian, and just over the years I've gradually built up, and I just think it's interesting. But then you remember all of the work that goes into it, and I'm like,
you'd be amazing. You'd be amazing in this industry.
But
it's such a fun industry. I mean, it's so funny because it is. I love mixing it up, and I love having that. There's always different things going on, always fun things, always different kind of clients, like personalities. I mean, I always thought, we have a small team, and then we got to this stage where the service, I want to give the best service. And if you've got too many listings for the manpower, you have to grow. And I always want to make sure that communication is everything. I mean, it's
everything, yeah.
like to keep somebody happy. It's always, and I've got to get better at this. You have a really busy day. You want to make sure you follow up with all your buyers and your sellers all the time, and make sure they feel that they're getting the weekly reports, monthly reports, whatever. Or if you've done a showing, they take so long to get the house prepped. A lot of the times when you don't get, it's hard to give feedback if you don't get any feedback, because if somebody doesn't want the house, they don't bother replying. They focus on the house they want.
Why would they spend time giving feedback? They're just not
They're
interested.
just not interested. Thanks, but no thanks. But then you want to say after the person who spent hours getting the house ready.
That must be so hard.
That's probably the hardest part of this. It's probably the hardest part of this industry, because you have to, or no feedback at all. That's what it's like. You'll say, "I'd love to give you feedback." We don't have any feedback, but so it's really hard to.
Do you ever just make it up?
Never, Christine. I never make it up. I never made up in my life.
No, but I was thinking
you definitely have to sugarcoat it.
People are so attached to their homes, right?
That's exactly right.
I've honestly gone into some places, and it's funny because my brother actually sent me a property in the UK that he's looking at buying, and him and his wife are so British, and it's a beautiful house, but I was like, God, I would need to rip that place apart. And he's like, it's perfect. And I'm like, oh yeah, lovely. And I'm just thinking, selling somebody's home, and you have to go in, because I know you guys stage homes a lot as well, right?
Yeah, we do. We try and make it as neutral tones.
Diplomatic about that conversation.
It's definitely easier now that the homes, when I first started out, they were different kinds of homes, and they were. We deal with every kind of home, condo, land. But most of the homes I walk into are stunningly beautiful.
Yeah, you seem like you.
I do. I
get lucky with your.
I
listings.
get very. So my listing was like, oh my God, I'd do anything to live here myself. When I first started out, I remember thinking, same thing. Even if a family member's redesigned their house, and you're like, wow, I wouldn't have chosen the bright blue wall or the bright orange wall. But kind of each their own. But you're right. You want to sell it in the best light. But the owner obviously is it's their hundreds, it's all their style. They've spent a lot of time designing it their way.
Right.
It's like buying a bright orange car and trying to sell it on to everyone. A white car will sell.
Yes, yeah.
Bright orange car is individual taste.
Do you find most people are quite, though, understanding with it? They want to sell the house at the end of the day, and they trust that what you're saying is needed. You tell them the truth. You could have, in a polite way. Most of the time, it's not really the house; it's the clutter. So we always say, if you want to sell your house, the best way of the light is to declutter it, make it less personal, and you want people to come into your house and visualize themselves living there. If you have all the photographs of your kids and all their artists, it's cute. It's really cute. We're parents, it's really cute, but you want them to visualize living there. And so making it more neutral tones always helps sell a house. Right,
it's a game changer, really.
Can I ask what has been your biggest sale on Ireland? Most expensive sale?
It was a house in Bontown. Okay. It was during COVID. 26.7, I think.
Wow. In
Bontown. Yeah, it was and during COVID, we weren't really allowed out, so it was all Zoom calls.
Was it an international buyer?
It was, yeah. So they definitely have, but then when you do a sale, that's the smallest part of it. You actually end up, what it's like when it's building a relationship, but it's also you become the concierge for everything after that. I always say this, when I was at Kimpton, especially, you had the sale is a small part, then because they moved to the island, they don't know anything about the island half the time, especially these big buyers. So you're their knowledge for schooling, for where to buy a car from, supermarkets,
Oh, so they're actually
hairdressers.
buying and then planning to move here.
Yeah, most of the time.
Do people actually
Most of
do
my
that
buyers,
before they've even been here?
they were in COVID. There was more so in
Oh, I
COVID.
see,
But they still do it now where they'll come and then they'll move, they'll buy, then a month later the kids are starting school. So they want to get in, and you'd be amazed. A lot of the times it is down to which gym do I go to? My hairdressers. Where do I get this done? Where do I
Because
get
they're
that done?
planning the lifestyle. They need to know what.
The men want to know about boats and cars. The women want to know about where to get their treatments done, which is really, I mean, so most of the time, actually, most of my life is more that side of it, the concierge service side, than it is the actual sale.
Interesting.
And it's funny, when you do a sale, instead of, taking the night to kind of celebrate and raise a toast, the next day, you're back into that sale mode. You forget about the sale from yesterday. You just get back into this,
I don't think every realtor does that.
I think it's a bad habit. I think it's a very bad habit.
I think that is, I was thinking about this as well before we met, and I was like, I feel like your personality is what makes you so successful, and I feel like you go above and beyond. Because honestly, I've bought and sold quite a few houses, and I've never had that. I mean, I wasn't relocating, but even like that just hasn't even been a thing. It was just kind of like, this is the house you're selling, off you go.
Off you go.
I may have got a bottle of champagne or a close.
Or like one of those.
No, I got a knife actually. I remember walking out, gave those like steak knives. It wasn't even a steak, it was like a samurai sword actually. I was like, what do I do with this?
I love that. That's what we used to give out boats, like the boats for.
Oh, I think you meant
Kimpton.
actual boats.
No, yeah. If I would have bought one myself.
But I think that's you. I think that's definitely you going above and beyond.
Do you know what? You want to stand out from the crowd. I mean, you definitely want to stand out. Say at the gym, you want to stand out. And I think it's in our nature to try to help as much as we can. Serve people.
Yeah.
It is a serve. Whatever industry we've been in, we've both been waitresses before.
Yeah.
You want to serve people and to make sure everyone is comfortable and happy and have everything they need. Because it's really scary moving to an island where you don't know anyone, or even if you come for a holiday, you just want. We want to like style Cayman and by the kind of showing that we have everything here.
Of course, yeah.
We have. I mean, even things like getting your nails done here. It's
Well,
much better here than it is in the
referrals,
UK.
right?
Yeah, it's all referrals. It's all referrals.
I guess again in your industry that is key, referrals.
I think 99% of my workload and my sales are referral based.
Wow.
It's incredible. I mean, even when I first started, I was working at Scott McFarlane's dental office first for 10 years. And the year I got into real estate, Remax, my first year was all referrals from the dentist office.
Wow.
And all my sales are from there.
Which goes back to saying what we said before. All of the jobs before serve a purpose.
Serve a purpose. Like whether it's like anything we've been in, it's like waitressing. It's serving. I'm serving people. So you're right.
And
every single thing we've done, the foundation,
networking, it's all the same.
it's amazing. I mean, I did 10 years with the Saudi royal family, so I've travelled with them, and having that kind of training of patience and trying, and being.
And that's a different culture.
Yeah.
So that's...
You're dealing with the culture change, you're dealing with being up all hours of the night. I mean, 4 o'clock in the morning is a normal, or 10:30 at night is having dinner is normal.
So what were you doing with them, sorry?
I was part of a team 15. I went from beauty therapy to security as part of the close, so that was really fun. But totally different chapters in my life. But each chapter it's brought where we are now, and it's definitely been so nothing stresses me out, no matter how, it just doesn't. I mean, I know I can handle anything.
Well, you can pivot and you can adapt.
You can pivot. You pivot. That's exactly what you do. You pivot. You adapt. I'm not 20 anymore. I know that you've had your knocks, your fair amount of knocks. You know exactly how to pivot and to focus on the positive. And that's. I mean, even in the office, I always say, guys, we don't talk about any company. We don't talk badly about anything. I don't want any negative vibes in the office. I want everyone to be positive. If you have an issue, let's go for a glass of wine. Let's go for coffee. Let's discuss it. It's
move on.
And move on. Like we'll get it out. I want to always be lines of communication open. I always want everyone to be happy at work. But let's take it out the office and kind of just one-on-one and get through it.
So what is next for Fleur? You just got married.
I just got married. I just got married. I don't think I'll be out of this industry anytime soon. I love the industry. It's really, really,
and you guys are
passionate about
here
it.
right now. You're still growing,
we're
right?
trying to keep it fresh. We're trying to keep it new. It's hard to keep coming up with ideas, but when you've got a team that like we really generally, and I really mean this, we generally really love each other as a team. So we all support each other, and I love going to the office. But I definitely, at some stage, I mean, the husband keeps saying, "Let's go traveling," and I'm like, "I would love to, honey, but give me till I'm 90, I'll come with you when I'm 90." So the thought of kind of slowly easing out of it, I don't see that happening for another 10, 15, 20 years. Because I love going to work.
Yeah.
I definitely am a bit of a workaholic. I really enjoy it. And when you find something you really enjoy, it's like,
And also, as we said before we started rolling, we can't afford to not work.
It's not an option. It's not an option for us. Expenses, maintenance. That's what I always say to my husband. I was like, you have no idea how much I spend on a monthly basis. I don't ever want to come to you and ask you for coffee money.
Yeah.
So when I'm 80 or 90, I'll.
I feel like we've said this before, but I think about it all the time because you have a son, I have a son, and I'm like, and I always wanted a daughter. I was like, I cried when I found out it was a boy. But I'm like, I think all the time, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad you don't have to worry about half of the things that we do as women. Like, you're going to have a great life.
And the expense, I mean, they're so easily pleased,
You just get a haircut every 2 weeks and you're done.
It's amazing. It's so much, like you guys must, it's so easy having a boy. And I was the same. I always thought, I want a little girl with pigtails and a little cute outfit. What am I going to do with a boy? I mean, I've got 3 sisters. I've got it with a household of women. I went to boarding school, all girls. I went, beauty therapy was all girls.
Of course.
I've always had all women around me. Now I live with a bunch of guys.
Interesting.
2 or 3 boys, sons, husband. And it's a completely different way of life. But it's so easy. We're not fighting over clothes. We're not fighting over who's borrowed your tweezers. We're fighting over the fact that there's socks left on the side and, but they're just
but you
easy.
can deal with that.
You deal with it. Like, okay, no worries, I won't do it again.
They're less emotional.
They're less emotional.
Like,
they're
Casey will ask
so
me
easy.
for something, I'll say no, and he's like, okay. And I'm like, that would never have been me. I need to know why, and what's the option?
It's so funny that, I mean, I remember my son going to school, it was about a year ago. I said, are you in your class with all your friends? He goes, no, none of my friends are in my class. I'm like,
did you freak out?
Well, I was like, does that worry? He goes, no, that's great. I'll make new friends. So for a girl, it's the end of the world if I'm not surrounded by my mates.
Yeah.
But for boys, they're like, great, I'll be fine. I'll just make new friends. And it's just easy. And there's no hormone, there's no drama.
And we're still at a sweet age. Let's see if we have this conversation
in a few years' time.
We might be like, oh my gosh. What were we saying?
We spoke too soon.
So I was trying to finish with a few quick fire questions.
Love it.
So I don't want to hold you up for too much more of your time. But okay, so if you can share one tip that you would give first-time buyers in Cayman.
First-time buyers, shop around. Even with your realtors, find a realtor that works for you. Everyone has relationships where, what one realtor may work for somebody, another one wants somebody else. So find a realtor that you blend with. Make sure somebody who's quick at answering their phones, because if they're quick, that they will always have, be looking out for you. So always answer your phone quickly. Responsive is absolutely enormous in this industry. Find somebody who you gel with well and who understands your needs and listens to you. I mean, we were talking about earlier saying, okay, as a single mum, you don't want your child's 3, you have to be on the same floor and things like that.
I didn't want a big house, so don't show me these big homes.
Don't waste your time or my time. I want something that works for the family. I remember my favorite homes was a garage. It was myself and my son. And I turned this garage into a little cottage, and I look back now and I still love that. It was still one of my favorite places I've ever lived at before.
Wow.
But it's just having...
It has to work for you.
It has to work for you. Your agent has to listen to you and has to spend the time researching it as well. You want options. You want options all across the island. There's options everywhere. So you want to make sure that they've done their homework and they've really researched what's best for you.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Ooh, oh God. To be in 2 places at once.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you can sell more houses.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. You'd be one time 1 minute, you'd be in one point the next.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I've
2
never
houses at once.
You hear that? That's a good one. I would like that too, so I could be like in the UK and
here. And also being a parent and being like, I think I've got close to work-life balance. If you ask my husband, he would laugh. He'd laugh, right? So, and so would my son. So, 2 places at once. Happy,
keep everybody happy.
Keep everyone happy.
But still make the money to maintain.
Still make the money to maintain our habit.
I love that.
Yeah, the maintenance. Yeah.
That actually transitioned well into my next question about work-life balance. So we spoke about it earlier, and we kind of believe that you can with a bit of compromise. And that's what I was going to ask you. Would your husband agree with that?
My husband would laugh at that. Like even when we're on holidays or anything, I've turned into the person I said I'd never be.
I know.
Because you want to be really quick, you want to be responsive, you want to be the first person to answer that call. But by doing so, I can have 15 conversations and he'll say, I told you that. I said, no, I've never heard that. He goes, well, you're on your phone. You know? So it's very hard because even if you're there in spirit, even if you're there, you kind of half-heartedly there. So it's kind of, I remember going for an operation once and they were about to put me to sleep and I had my phone. I said, you can't do this yet. I need to get this offer out now. So I had all the scrubs on, and they're like, "You're kidding, right?" I'm like, "No, this needs to go out before I get that. You need to get this out now." So it was silly things like that you never think.
But I understand that, and I think people look at that as like, "Oh, that's terrible. You need to," but that is just part of being successful, and that you have to put the hours in. You have to be responsible. It's just part.
It's just part of it, and it's like in any industry. Like I think we're driven in a way where you're either driven to. Do it, or you put your feet back and you obviously in real estate you can't put your feet back and or do a part. I don't think you can do a part-time personally. Some people do.
I say that about my industry too.
You can't. You just you're either in it full on or it just doesn't seem to work.
Yeah.
So if you want to be successful, and we were saying earlier, if you want to be successful, it's all the slogging behind the scenes that no one sees and the ups and downs and the constant. You don't get it overnight. You have to work at it. You have to put the hours in. You have to really want it and be driven for it. And if you are, and I think you do very well. It's a great industry. It's an incredible island to be on. Work-life balance. I think if you plan well enough, I'll never be good at it, but I could get better at it. But I do think planning is down. Always. I think planning is. I'm glad I'm doing it this way, not the other way. If I was more at home with my feet up, I'd be like, ooh.
Yeah.
But because, it's the same thing. We're driven, we want to be successful. You have to maintain that, So, and then if you surround yourself with a great team, you can be more...
You get more support that allows for that.
And that's a game changer. If you're with a good team, the support's there, you trust that person. And my girl, they're better than I am at this. So
that's what they say. You should hire better than you. So
you surround yourself with people and you want to look after them so they want to stay, but they can go off and my gang, they are, I can't say enough about them. They are excellent. So I'm so happy we're all,
And then my last question, so it's rolled in perfectly. What does success mean to you?
Work-life balance. I'd love to get to my deathbed, not soon, but later on in life. Later in life, not yet. But I'd love to say 95 or 100 and not feel like I've missed out on anything. I don't want to feel. I want to feel that I've actually done the best I could possibly do for what So and having that, I love my industry. If I change it, I've changed around a few times in my life. But I would love to get to not feeling like I've missed anything in life. And I already kind of feel that I've piled a lot into.
Well, I feel like somebody said this recently and I loved it. And it was like, you've done a lot, but if you look at it, is there just chapters of your life?
Yeah, chapters, 100%.
But you do each chapter really well, and then move on to the next. Then that's...
You tick each box. Yeah. And you don't feel like you've failed it, you've succeeded at it, and now it's time to move, it's
time to move on.
I could be 50 and decide that I want to be,
you can nowadays, that's the good thing.
You can. I want to also be able to always be able to support myself as well. I've been there before where I just want to make sure that I save, I invest well, and real estate's always worked well for me. But also, you just want to be able to show that you've got your own back and you're giving your family a really good life as well. So, I don't want to give my son too much, but I also don't want him to miss out on.
You want that security.
Yeah, that's a huge, After having a child, you want to make sure that they have a really good life without being spoiled rotten. So
I actually, oh gosh, I wanted to wrap it up, but now you've like opened that can of worms.
Can of worms.
Because that is something that where I'm at right now, is like making sure that I believe that a lot of success comes from doing the hard work.
100%.
And I came from not having anything and just having those morals and, you know, of hard work, doing the work and earning things.
Yeah.
That's so important for your character. But raising kids in Cayman is difficult to instill those lessons in them. So I send him off to the UK and make him do all the things.
Even down to like, I mean, when we were kids, our holidays, we'd go back to the UK, we'd go caravanning in the northeast.
Oh, yeah.
And that was so much fun. It cost very little, but it was so much fun. My son just got back from a 3-week trip in Japan. And that's and I have friends of mine who, very wealthy family on the island, and they're like, we don't want to pass away and give all our money to them because they have nothing to work for.
Yeah.
We want to spend a lot of it, make sure they're okay, but spend a lot of it, and that way they have to work. But I'm like, my son got dragged. I think my son had more working days by the time he was 5 with me than, you know, most kids have, you know, later on in life. He got dragged.
So letting
everywhere.
him see you doing the work. That's what I do too.
Like even Saturdays and Sundays when we have showings, I'll get ready and go out, and he's like, Mum, it's Saturday or Sunday, what, you know.
Yeah, that's
work is work. While the work's there, you grab it.
So you teach him those lessons through
lessons,
seeing what you do.
100%.
Yeah. I think that's so important.
Because
it's something I do worry about. Every year he's getting older, I'm like, oh.
It's very hard keeping ground in such a, because in Cayman we have everything and they have everything. But you also want them to stay with their feet on the ground, and you don't want, you know, and especially when, I mean, obviously Cayman's got a lot of money here. So, you know, even events or birthday parties, they're really.
I mean,
I
know.
We had a pool and you had 10 kids and Burger King, and you had your birthday cake.
We were saying this a few weeks ago when we didn't even have a birthday party every year. It was like a privilege if you had a birthday party and you played Pass the Parcel. And it was like, my birthday's September, so we'd be lucky. We'd have like good weather and you'd be thrown in the garden. And now like they're having parties at the Ritz and it's just what it is. But then you also don't want them to not have that here because all of their friends and their peers are doing that. But it's definitely, I think you just have to be mindful of it.
You have to be mindful. You have to, and if they do get a bit, you know, you just kind of, you know, bring them back to earth. So you have to be mindful of it.
Yeah.
And they're all, I mean, the kids in Cayman I find so polite, generally, you know.
I actually get that a lot from when I take him to England, funny enough.
Yeah.
People comment all the time about how polite he is. Even my own parents, because they've got a nephew and love him, but he's feral. He's like, went to forest school, he's just wild. My dad's like, take a bath, and he's like, I don't need a bath. I had a bath on Monday, and it's like Saturday.
It's amazing, isn't
it is. It's finding that balance, but that's what my dad always says to me. He's like, he's so polite, he's so well mannered, and you know, that's the things that's important. I always say to him, you'll get far in life having good manners.
That's what I always said. Even before I had Max, I said, if he's not academic, I'm not an academic, you'll survive. You find a passion, what you're good at, you find something you want. If you're rude, we have an issue. So I've always said manners are, you know.
And presentation, I always say.
Presentation, yeah. Because first impressions are everything. You know, it is. Those two definitely stand out. But you're right. I very rarely have I seen a kid in Cayman who doesn't say please and thank you and look you in the eye and shake your hand. I mean, it's quite amazing.
I've actually had to say, sorry guys, you'll wrap up now. I've actually had to say to teach Kason that we don't hug everyone because he's a big hugger and he'd be in England and he's like, can I give you a hug? And I'm just like, we don't do that in the UK. Like people are like, oh, what do you mean? Because he's like, hi.
I even like, bus flight, I'll say, hi gorgeous, hi honey. I can't, I'm just
it's just how,
I just can't.
I know, it's funny,
so
isn't it?
not to,
and he just wants to talk to everyone. He's like, hi, how's your day today? And I'm just like, that is a stranger. We don't speak to them. But they're so sweet. But it is definitely like, it's an ongoing lesson with them.
It is. And it is, as a mum, and I mean, years ago, you'd either be a mother in the house or you'd be, you know, you'd have your profession, your career. Putting the two together, you know, it's a juggling act.
And, you know, I get questioned about this. This is my opinion. And I do this with my child, and it's right for me. I say to him, I don't apologize for my job, put it that way. I say to him, this is mommy's work. You know, this comes first. This is what we do. This is what provides us our lifestyle. But as I said to you earlier, like, I let him know I love what I do.
Yeah. Makes a huge
but
difference.
you have to understand that that's also a priority. So as you said, like you can come along for the ride,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
mummy has to work right now. And I never apologize for working.
And,
I don't
mean,
feel guilty.
because
I'm like,
you're creating a, I mean, say like Max, you're creating a child. They know that mummy and daddy are working. They see you. It automatically installs work ethic into them from a really early age. And I think it's so important to see that. That you love, you find something that you're passionate about, you love what you do, and that, as you say, you don't have to fit in the category of what everyone expects you to.
Yeah.
Be the best you can be, and find something that you're really passionate about. I mean, I left school at 16. I thought I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. You survive, you find something that you really love to do, and you work at it, and you get good at it, and you basically, it's really fun. Like you just generally have like every day is a, you know, I love my
and I can tell that. You can, that's what I'm saying, you can tell and you can see the difference in your agency. That's why I kept coming back to that. I was like, you can just see it.